is going to be a wild ride. Kicking things off at number 10, we are shattering an illusion you've been staring at your entire life. When you look up at a full moon, what do you see? A perfect glowing round ball, right? Well, actually, scratch that. It is a total cosmic trick of the eye. The moon is actually asymmetrical. Over billions of years, the Earth's massive gravity has constantly pulled and tugged on it, stretching it out. Because of this endless gravitational tug-of-war, the moon is squished into a shape that looks quite a bit like a lemon. So the next time you're gazing at a beautiful full moon, just remember you're actually looking at a giant glowing space lemon. Moving right along to number 9, the eerie, unchanging environment. On Earth, if you walk on the beach, your footprints are washed away by the tide or blown away by the wind within hours, right? But the moon is like a giant museum literally frozen in time because the moon has no atmosphere. It doesn't have wind, rain, or snow. Nothing ever washes away. Those famous footprints left behind by the Apollo astronauts way back in 1969, they are still sitting up there right now looking perfectly brand new. And honestly, they will probably stay perfectly preserved like that for millions of years. Down to number 8, we're plunging right into the spooky shadows. Here on Earth, shadows are just, a little dim. And that's because the air all around us scatters the sunlight, bouncing it into the shadowy spots. But on the moon, there's absolutely no air to scatter that light. So if you were to step out of the sunlight and into a shadow on the moon, it would instantly become completely pitch black dark. It's so dark that you wouldn't even be able to look down and see your own shoes. Hitting number 7, some wild space weather you definitely wouldn't want to pack for. Our Earth has this lovely thick blanket of air called an atmosphere that keeps our temperatures somewhat steady. The moon, it doesn't have that protective blanket at all, which means the weather is absolutely extreme. If you're standing in direct sunlight on the moon, the surface gets hotter than boiling water. But the very second you step out of the sun and into the shade, the temperature instantly drops way, way below freezing. It is a world of absolute extremes. Number 6 brings us a very unusual smell. You wouldn't really think space has a smell, would you? Well, when the astronauts who walked on the moon climbed back inside their spaceships, they took off their helmets and noticed something totally bizarre. The lunar dust clinging to their suits, which, by the way, is incredibly sharp, almost like tiny bits of glass, had a very distinct odor. They reported that it smells exactly like burnt gunpowder, like the air right after fireworks go off. We are halfway there. Number 5. A slow-motion escape happening right above our heads. Get this, the moon is actually slowly running away from us. Every single year, the moon drifts about 3.8 centimeters, or 1.5 inches, further away from Earth. Now, that doesn't sound like a whole lot, but it really adds up over millions of years. And the coolest part, you can actually measure that speed yourself. That distance is roughly the exact same speed that your fingernails grow. So as you watch your nails grow this month, you're literally watching the exact speed the moon is distancing itself from our planet. Number 4, a cosmic game of hide and seek. Have you ever noticed that the moon always looks exactly the same from your window? We only ever see one side of it. This is because the moon is basically playing the ultimate game of hide and seek. It spins on its own axis at the absolute perfect speed to keep its front side facing Earth while it travels around us. Because of this, there's a side facing away from us known as the dark side of the moon. But here is the secret. It isn't actually dark. That hidden side gets plenty of sunlight. The moon is just spinning so perfectly that we never, ever get to see it from Earth. Number 3, the rumbling rock. Just like we have earthquakes here, the moon has moonquakes. Even though the moon looks perfectly still and quiet through a telescope, the immense power of Earth's gravity is constantly pulling and stretching the rocky surface. All that stretching creates tension, causing the moon to literally shake and rumble with small quakes deep underground. Down to number 2, and it is time for some bouncy mega jumps. The moon is way smaller than Earth, which means it has a lot less gravity holding you down. If you were to take a vacation to the moon, you would instantly weigh a whole lot less. And you wouldn't just feel lighter, you'd basically have superpowers. Because the gravity is so weak, you could jump 6 times higher than you can right here on Earth. Just imagine it. You could run up to a basketball hoop and easily dunk the ball like a mega superstar, just floating through the air. And finally, hitting number 1, the absolute biggest, most mind-blowing mystery of all, the moon's epic cosmic origins. So where did the moon even come from in the first place? Well, scientists believe that the moon is actually a piece of ancient Earth. The leading theory is that billions of years ago, when our solar system was just forming, a massive, giant rock, the exact size of the planet Mars, came flying through space and crashed violently into the early Earth. It was an unimaginably huge collision. A massive chunk of rock shattered and broke off into space. And over a long period of time, all that floating debris clumped and smashed together to become our moon. So when you look at the moon, you are basically looking at Earth's little sibling, born from the most epic crash in planetary history. We've explored squish lemon shapes, footprints frozen in time, pitch black shadows, exploding moon dust, and super-powered gravity jumps. So I'm going to leave you with this final thought. Knowing all these incredible facts, if you had a spacesuit right now and a one-way ticket to the lunar surface, what is the very first thing you would do on the moon? Keep wondering, keep exploring, and thanks for joining me on this amazing Lunar Explainer.